Well, I want to start by thanking the organizers for including me. I think we need to do more of these types of conferences where we're bringing together practitioners and policymakers and activists and academics, because I know we can learn so much from talking to each other, and I certainly have over the last 2 days. So I'm the last academic speaker, and I wanted to think about, well, what can I add to this already great conversation that we've had? And I want to start, even at the risk of being repetitive, by saying that the state-of-the-art research tells us that with more employee ownership, firms become more productive. And so specifically looking at my work, I'm looking at public firms, and I observe them adopting employee ownership plans and doing so thoughtfully. So in this idea of bringing up this ownership culture, and what I find afterwards is the value of the firm expands, and this benefits workers. So workers see their wages increase above and beyond the value of the ESOP shares that they're being granted. And I also observe that shareholder stock prices increase, so shareholders are gaining as well. And so why? Well, I think this is mainly what we've been talking about over these last 2 days. You know, the way I think about it simply is that for the vast majority of firms, their employees, are the key drivers of their value. And most firms do a horrible job of acknowledging this. And employee ownership can change that. By elevating your employees to employee owners, you make them part of your firm. You make them clearly as the central part of your firm, and employees respond. As employee owners, they're going to work harder. They're going to care more about the firm, and that's how we see these productivity gains. Now, having said that, the academic in me has to give you 2 caveats. And here are the 2 issues with this research. Is first, all of our economics research is based on observational studies. So what I do is I observe firms that have already voluntarily decided to adopt ESOPs. And so what that means is these are the firms that are anticipating the greatest benefits when they adopt them. And so I do think we need to have some sort of grain of salt when we think about the estimates and the magnitudes that we're observing now, if we were to try to apply them to a broader sample of firms. It's not clear we'll see as big of a gains. The second issue is that firms that adopt ESOPs, they're unique. They tend to be more employee-focused. And so there's always a difficulty in sort of teasing out how much of this effect that you're observing, is it driven by the ESOP itself, or is it driven by the selection? That these were just unique firms that were already employee-focused. But having said that, we have a lot of creative ways to kind of get around these concerns. And as the last speaker, I promise I won't bore you with how I do that in my research. But I think what this says is that we also have a lot more questions that we would love to see answered. And so current state-of-the-art research says that employee ownership appears to be increasing firm productivity. But I'm excited to see where the research is going to be in the next few years as we continue to address some of these questions.